I'm DJ Psyched, and you're watching the Get Psyched YouTube channel. Let's get psyched about YouTube. I'm DJ Psyched. You're listening to the Get Psyched podcast, and today we're getting psyched with PME again, a longtime guest on the show and a good friend of mine. This is your third time on the show, PME, right?
If I'm correct, yes. I think it is my third time because it was the first episode.
Yeah.
And then the second time was when I don't even remember, it was when you started the YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then this is the third time, yes.
This is the third time. So I just want to start off generally for people who don't really know who you are yet, maybe haven't watched the other ones or read or listened to them. If you haven't, you should check them out. I've also written 2 blog posts on PME, so you can get all the information you need there. But can you let them know kind of who you are, what you do?
Yo, it's PME, okay? I am music producer, artist, make lo-fi beats, hip-hop beats for the R&B, beats for sale. For other artists, just an all-around chill guy. I mean, I don't know what else to really say.
Okay, fair enough. But what I wanted to say, because the first one kind of just served as like us just talking about stuff. It was actually really funny because that was when I just started the podcast. So that is a very interesting thing to listen to. If you listen to it, don't judge me. That's all I'm saying. But it's a good episode content-wise.
If you go and listen to that, judge her harshly, please.
I over-edited the episode, but I think content-wise, we still talked about a lot of great stuff. But the second one was more of like an update on where you were, because we both were basically pretty new to what we were doing at that point. Yeah. And we still, I mean, relatively speaking, we still kind of are because we're young and we've only been a few years in. But the second time was kind of like us settling into what we were doing. And so I'm wondering in this third one, if you could also update yourself on what you're doing, but more so focus on what you've learned and kind of what you're going to take from what you've learned and push it forward in what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. It's funny because you said saying oh, we're both like pretty young to this. 100% we are, because compared to a lot of other people, like we haven't been doing this for that long. They're like, compared to all the other people that do podcasts and all the other people that make beats, at least in the grand scheme of it, they've been doing it for like 10 plus years or 5 plus years, and for both of us it's only been like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah,
so it's like we're not even halfway there yet, but I've learned a lot. I would say I've learned a good amount, especially because I feel like making content is a big mental game, because you have to you can't compare yourself to other people. That's one thing that I really hate that I do a lot, is that I always compare myself to, oh, this person is doing well, or this person is doing well. But I don't think about the fact of, one, this person has been doing this for longer than me, or one, this music is, more people gravitate towards this more and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, just to not compare myself to other people is one big thing that I've learned. But doing that and just enjoying what you're doing is another big thing. Like, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's not going to come out good. Like being happy and content with what you are making and what you're pushing out is honestly just the biggest part of it. Because if you're not content with it, if you're just putting stuff out just because I'm like, oh, everyone else is going to like this, like no one's going to listen to it because it's not what you like to do,
Yeah, totally. I think those two lessons definitely resonate with me, because I think and I think everyone who creates is a big culprit of like comparing yourself to others. And something that really, really put things into perspective for me was just kind of realizing that although some creators, because I just want to put into perspective of where we are, I think we're both pretty similar in the fact that we grew up literally in the same town. We went to the same high school.
Yeah.
We both have like similar situations, right? We also have to be working people because we have to pay for our lives. So we're not just like free 100% of the time to create. We're still have responsibilities, right? And I think sometimes I fall into this trap of comparing myself to people who full-time create. And that's not a good thing to do, because clearly what I make, it's going to be much harder for me to put out the same volume and the same like super high quality looking podcast as somebody who, one, just maybe has more funds for certain equipment, which doesn't matter to me. But it's just the fact that I sometimes judge myself because I'm like, I can only put out one blog post a week and one podcast a month, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm working full time, and people who go hard and make several videos a week, that's their job. That's what they're working full time at. You got to work up to that.
Exactly. Like you again, just comparing yourself to that person, it's like, is honestly like comparing apples to oranges, because it's like me, I am working a full-time job, and then I come home, make however many beats I make, and then that be it, compared to another person who is a full-time producer who wakes up and just makes beats the entire day, or like, you know, markets the entire day, or just plan stuff out that they can do music related the entire day. So I'm not going to be able to move either the same amount or the same way that that person moves. Like, it's two different, you know, lanes that we're in, at least at the moment, you know?
Yeah. And I think that goes like hand in hand with what you said about like loving what you do. Cause I had this big tendency of like trying to do everything. And I was even making myself do things I didn't love, which was just annoying, you know, at a certain point when you're just like, I do like posting stuff that I create when I'm proud of it, especially like I'm proud of it. I want to post it. But posting it on every single platform and coming up with new captions for every single one, that was not enjoyable at all. Like, I'm not a marketing agent. I just like to make stuff, you know?
Yeah. Dang, I had something on my mind when you said that. Got it now. So the whole enjoying what you're making and stuff like that, I've kind of learned this, and I've seen that a lot of people do this type of tactic where it's basically like they do it, that they have the good balance of, okay, this is what I love, but I know a lot of other people want either something different or something not exactly like this. So a lot of people, what they do is they find the good balance of like, say, okay, I like hip hop. Obviously, one big genre of hip hop right now is drill music. So I mean, something I could do is I could possibly, you know what, I'm gonna make a drill beat today, you know, and put that up. Or I'm gonna make, like, you know, someone just dropped a fire pop song, I'm gonna make a pop type beat, you know, and put that out today, you know. So like a lot of people, they find like they have a balance of it. It's like, okay, this is the stuff that I like, and this is the stuff that I kind of like, but y'all also like it, so this is more for y'all right now, you know.
Yeah.
And I think finding that balance is something that a lot of people kind of struggle with, because no, honestly, like sometimes I'm just like, nah, I'm making what I want to make. Like this is what I like. I like this, you know, weird video game loop or whatever. Or I like this weird, like, you know, ukulele loop or something like that. So I'm gonna make a beat with it. I'm gonna sell it and all that type of stuff. But then I have to remember that at the end of the day, it's not about what I like. I have to make, at least for me personally, I have to make for a consumer. So I have to think about what the consumer wants at the moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that we're both like fans of like Gary V.
Gary V.
Yeah, Gary V. Yeah. And I was thinking of that too once, because I do like, I don't really enjoy posting on every social platform, but I do like Instagram. I think it's fun. I like pictures, and I kind of just like posting about the stuff that I'm doing. And I kind of saw myself like trying to post what was more appealing versus what I liked. And I saw something that he posted about like, you know, just because what you're doing maybe isn't technically working right now, if it's what you're really passionate about and it's different from what everyone else is doing, like in the long run, that actually might, you know, that's going to catch on because you're being your authentic self. But I think there is like a middle ground, because I do that now. Like what I try to do is like, I'll make some really weird posts that maybe a bunch of people don't like, maybe a bunch of people don't understand. I don't care. But then I'll put in like, okay, here's a cute picture of my pet, because I know you want to see that, you know, like just like kind of getting that balance in what you're doing. So I see what you're saying. But yeah, I also get in that mood sometimes too, where I'm just like, yeah, I did stuff that I think other people wanted to see last week. So I don't really care if anybody likes this. I'm going to post this one because I like it, you know?
Yeah. See, I'm not even gonna lie. I am low key like envious of the fact that you have like that your social media game. For some reason, I feel like your social media game is just like A1. Like I want to be able to post like what I do and what I like, but like sometimes I'm just like, I don't do anything. I literally go to work, I come home and go to sleep. That's it. Like how I guess the question for you is, how do you find stuff like to post?
I am like, I'm always just kind of like a very big scatterbrain person. Like I always have way too much on my mind, which is why I got into writing. So I guess for me, it's like if something, I can't stop thinking about something or whatever, I just want to post about it. That's kind of how I come up with my posts. Like a lot of my blogs at this point, because I started off saying like I'm gonna do short stories and other stuff, but at the moment there's no short stories or anything going on. It's all just like blogs. And I guess it's just me trying to like reflect on what I'm learning. And I'm just the kind of person that if I learn something and I'm like, this is so useful, I just kind of want to share it because then it'll help me like better understand it. So that's where a lot of the stuff I post is just like directly a part of my life at the moment. Like I wrote about needing to slow down and take a break because I was doing a terrible job at that. And then I realized I needed to. And the content just kind of came from how I was feeling. So I guess like, you know, if I were to give anything that I've learned is that like what I used to do was I used to just find topics that were interesting and try to write about them or podcast about them, but they weren't necessarily the things running through my mind at the moment. And it was just a contrast, you know, like it was hard to make content when it was like, yeah, this is interesting to me, but right now this thing's on my heart. So sometimes I'll get ideas and I'm just not feeling it at the moment. And I just throw it in an idea bank. Like I just have an idea bank where I just throw the idea so that if, you know, one day comes up and I don't have something, I can just go there. But for the most part, I try to run with what's in my heart because then I'm just the words are just going to flow at that point, you know? Like,
excuse me.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty excited for this one post that I want to do, but I've been putting it off forever because it just hasn't felt right. But I think it's starting to feel right. Just because like I was listening to a song, you know, Make It Stop by Rise Against.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, after like listening to that song, I was like, okay, I need to do a blog post on this because like I love this topic, but it just hasn't like resonated to the point where like the words are flowing out. But once they do, you know, I'll do it. That sounds like so hippie-ish, but I'm serious. Like it's like what you said earlier. You just got to love what you're doing.
Yeah. Embrace the hippie side of you. It's okay.
That's literally what I am. I used to think like, that's so cringy, you know, what if I talk like that, everyone's gonna think I'm fake deep. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna be me. If you think I'm being fake, you think I'm being fake. There's plenty of people on the internet who know that I'm not. That's just how I am.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it too. It's just being yourself. Like, and I feel like, at least for my like social media game, I don't really want to put me out because for some reason I don't think people want to see me.
And see, I think it's funny that you say that about my social media game because honestly, I've always thought, and I always still think, like my social media game is just weird. It's not really a game. I just post random shit sometimes. Yeah. But yours, I used to be so envious of your page because the way you like post out your beats so consistently and just so like, there's so like, it might not feel like it when you're putting the posts out there because they're so short, but I feel a lot of personality out of it. And that could just be because I know you, but your personality is in there with the words you choose. And sometimes they're just like mildly aggressive, but that's like your image. That's like your brand image. You're not like afraid to put yourself out there. I'm so serious.
I'm now, after I finish this, I am going to put mildly aggressive in all of my social media bios. I appreciate that. I really do. Because I always do feel like I don't do a lot. And I guess it's more on the aspect of I don't post a lot of personal stuff, I guess. You know, like I remember hearing this a while ago too, is that when people are like looking for people to collaborate with or like looking for people that they want to work with, a lot of times when you go to the page, it's literally just it's either a whole bunch of just life stuff or it's a whole bunch of work stuff, and it's never a good in between. So I guess I'm just trying to find the good in between, because I noticed that if I scroll through my Instagram page, like most of it is going to be just all of my beats, which no problem. My beats are a part of me. You know, I love every single one of them. But I guess I kind of want to like find the good in between of being like, oh, you know, these are my beats, but this is also something else that I like. Or these are my beats and this is also something else that I do, you know? Yeah. Or something I enjoy.
Yeah. And I think that is like, actually, okay, so I used to listen to like a lot of like business podcasts. And in like 2021, it is like a really big thing in business that people do want to get to know you. But I do think that like you don't have to start that way, you know, like you don't have to start immediately putting yourself out there. But I feel like if you feel ready to put yourself out there, then like, yeah, that's awesome. Like you do put your stuff out there a bit. It doesn't have to be like, it's whatever you want, you know, because it's your thing. You put yourself out there as much as you want. I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I had that same realization not too long ago on my account when I started. That's why I started posting more like personal stuff, because I was going through it and they were all just snippets from my podcast. And like, although, yes, like you said, like your beats are a part of you, my podcast is a reflection of me. It wasn't all me. Like, it's not like I sit in front of my computer 24/7 and make podcasts. In fact, I haven't made a podcast in probably like 2 or 3 months. Like I haven't sat down and recorded. So it's like, I don't want to put myself out there that way because that's just not how I am. And I guess for me, it's very natural to do that just because I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. So like, I don't want to put myself out there as the podcast girl and then quit my podcast one day and everyone's like, what? But not saying I will. I want to do it. But like, you know, I haven't found my thing yet. So I could see why like it's easy to keep posting your thing when you have it. But I do agree with a lot of people when they say that, you know, people do want to get to know you. And I think one of the easiest ways to do that is to have some form of like an outlet, whether that be a podcast or a video series, something of yourself, because I mean, people love that. People eat that shit up, which is why I think it's great that you're on TikTok now. I saw that, like you're posting more on TikTok. I think that would be a good outlet because everyone's obsessed with that right now.
Yeah. See, and that's the funny part because I have the exact same like feeling about it where I'm like, I would post on there, but I feel like no one cares. Like, I don't know why I feel like that. I always feel like, okay, I'm gonna post this, and then I'm like, I don't gonna care about what I post, and then it's gonna get swept under the rug, and no one's gonna see it and anything like that. And I guess it's more because I don't want to put the effort into it and then like not get anything reciprocated back. And I mean, I guess that's just the way my mind works.
Yeah, but like you said when we started this, like this whole thing, like being an independent creator, it's all a mindset thing. You know, if you believe that nobody will care what you post, that it's just going to stop you. It's just a block from doing it. I don't think people care what I'll post. I'll be quite honest. I'm sure like a lot of people don't. I just know that there are some people out there who do, who would care. Cause like, I mean, think about like what we do. Like, I'm sure you do the same thing. Everyone does. Sometimes I'll just go through YouTube and watch the most random videos when I'm bored. I don't care if the person has 1 subscriber or like 10 million subscribers. If they interest me, I'm going to watch it, you know? Why wouldn't someone do the same for you or the same for me?
That is a very, very good point. I don't know. It's just, I'm just a big dumb idiot.
Yo, I remember you posted like a video of you like trying smoothies or something. And as I was watching it, the lemonades, as I was watching it, I was like, yo, you should do more of this kind of content. First of all, you're cute. So everyone does want to see your face. And it just like people who listen to your beats, they're like people who dedicatedly listen. If they don't know you in real life, they're going to be like, oh, this is him. You know, it gives you that like trust factor, which is so important when you want people to stick around with what you're doing. If they know what you're doing, if they like you and they trust you, they're going to stick around.
It's really funny that you say that too, because I've been meaning for the longest to like repost that video and say, because my the person who sent me she's my cousin. She basically like DM'd me, like sent me a long like voice message. It was like, look, a lot of people seen the video and a lot of people think it's really good. So if you want, any more like food or anything to try, just tell me and I'll send it to you, because so many people have hit me up about getting these lemonades and stuff. I've been meaning to repost something about that and just be like, hey, thank y'all and all that type of stuff. See, me lacking with my social media game again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm working on it too, though. Like confidence, I guess. The confidence aspect, I guess.
Yeah. Something else that I think I'm going to start posting about is you were here for a part of this. Last time we ended up beating up in the Barnes and Noble's parking lot. I've been collecting a lot of vinyls. Like I have a lot. Like, hold on. I'm going to, just so you can see the entire stack. Like I've been collecting a lot of vinyls and I feel like I should start talking about that more. Or just posting about it, maybe like, oh, I went here and this is what I found or something like that. I guess I'll start off right now. The last one I got was I ended up finding Childish Gambino's Because of the Internet, College Dropout. by Kanye. I found both of those at Walmart the other day.
Oh,
So
nice.
those are part of the collection now.
Yo, that'd be great. I mean, you literally make beats, so it'd be
I
so like
do.
relevant to just like you can just post literally like the
See,
vinyl and be like, this is what
I
I
have a
listen
lot.
to.
I have a lot of like musical stuff on my mind, but again, it's me being me and me being like, I don't gonna care about this.
Man, everyone's gonna care.
I am saying now that I am going to start posting more and more stuff. You know,
More of you.
more of me. Yes, I am dedicating. I am saying that today that I will start posting more of me. One of these days, I'm just gonna stockpile like a whole bunch of random photos just so I can have them like in case I need to post
Yeah.
something.
That helps a lot too. Like I like to like when I take pictures, I favorite some. So that
Mm-hmm.
way, like if I'm like, okay, I need to make a post today for today's blog post, I'll post it. And you probably have noticed this. One of the sometimes getting lazy is so helpful when it comes to creating content. Like it really is. Like I used to overcomplicate every part of the process and it really
Mm-hmm.
like it really stopped me from making a lot. But nowadays, if I don't have a picture, I'm not going to Photoshop it. I'm going to go into my Animal Crossing, pull out one of my pictures and post it. And you
Yep.
know what? Those posts perform just fine.
Look, I don't. This is like something I don't know if anyone knows this. Like every single one of the images for my beat arts, I found them off of Pinterest. They were just random pictures I found off of Pinterest, and I just used them, and that type of stuff. So I mean, that laziness does help because
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that does everything like in bulk. So like you already know, I plan all my stuff ahead of time. Like I already got May done. Yeah, already got all the way to May done. So now I'm like, I'm skipping June because I'm not telling y'all. But
Ooh.
July, I'm starting on July now. So I mean, I guess it back to the whole picture thing. I'm kind of waiting to start traveling more so I can like take more pictures and stuff. And I would just have stuff like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna post this picture with like this random caption because I'm not gonna lie. One of my homies, Jersey the rapper, he does the exact same thing. I'm just like, I want to do that.
Yeah, actually, that is so helpful. Like, I don't know, last year I think I did like a photo shoot with Ella, and I have been just posting random pictures from that for months now,
Mm-hmm.
like spaced apart. And I'm almost out of photos, so I need to go on another one. But just like taking so many photos at one time, and then you literally have like 6 months worth of photos to just randomly throw in there. It's so helpful.
Exactly. That I need to get on that. We're taking a trip. I'm going up there to you, and we're gonna go somewhere. And we're gonna
Sounds good.
bet. Let's do
Let's do it.
it.
Cross collab photo shoot.
Yes. Look, honestly, I'm trying to get like a whole bunch of my merch. I'm like trying to drop a bag like on my own merch, so that I can actually like wear it and like use it for like promotion for the merch one, and then just I'll have pictures of myself with it on.
Yeah.
I need to get to that. It's funny because no one knows about the merch. No one knows about the new merch, at least. I think you know. Have I shown it to you?
Wait, I think so actually. Yeah.
I'll show it to you after we're finished just so we can be sure. But yeah, no one knows
Okay.
about the new stuff. I don't know when I'm gonna announce that, but well, I kind of announced it, but it's a part of it that no one knows about.
That'll be exciting. Yeah, that would be cool to do a photo shoot for it.
See, and I had this idea in my head to like get a whole bunch of friends, like I was gonna buy some for all of my friends or whatever, and then just get them all together. And it's like, yo, we're gonna do this big photo shoot, and then so they can show it off, and y'all get the merch and I get the pictures, so I can promote it using that type of stuff. So,
I would buy one.
I know you would. I already know.
So I guess social media is it's something I didn't think enough about when I started, honestly, or something I didn't just think of because, when I started, I just was doing it for work or whatever. I was pretty far in, like not super far, but I was decently far into my podcast when I finally started posting about it. And I think it really kind of, to me at least, sort of added a whole new element to the game. For a while, I think it was bad. Like, I think that my warning for people would be don't let social media change the way you create because it's so easy for that to happen. Because I would try to like make sure that what I was posting would perform well on social media. Now I kind of like to do it what I think is the better way. At least what makes me feel better is to focus on what I create first And then I post it on social media however I post it,
Mm-hmm.
because pleasing social media was not helping my content, you know?
Again, like I said, it's a whole balance thing. It's like finding the good balance between like, oh, this is good. This is for like, for everyone else, and this is for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
gotta find balance.
So I have an important question for you.
Ooh,
Between the last time we recorded and now, what are like the biggest changes that you've made? If you've made any changes or any additions, like what is different about how you were creating at that point versus how you're creating now?
that is a very good question. Trying to think exactly how. I guess I put organization at a priority now. Beforehand, like a lot of times, and this is more like a behind the scenes type thing. No one will really know about this, but beforehand, like I would make my beats and then just kind of save them and just, put it to the side. And then I go to the next one, save it, put it to the side. But now, usually, if it's a beat I like, I usually like, I'll usually write it down first. And then I'm like, okay, I can post this one next. And then I'll write the next one, like I'll make it. And I'm like, okay, this one's good. I'll write that down. I'll write like the BPM, the key, all that type of stuff. And shoot, even making the beats, like I'm way more organized by doing it. I like try and label everything so that when I am arranging everything together, it looks organized, and I know, okay, this is the kick. I want to take the kick out for this part, or this is the snare, and this is the hi-hat. Like just being more organized about my stuff. Like I'm organized as is with a lot of it, but helping myself and getting more organized with that. At some point, I do want to go through my whole like hard drive, because I have a lot of sounds in my hard drive. I kind of want to like purge it and just like anything I'm not using or anything I don't go to, I want to delete it, or anything that I don't think I'm going to go to, I want to delete it. At some point, that's going to happen. But just organization is something that I have upped myself in that factor. Oh,
Nice.
and I actually started focusing more on mixing, at least mixing and mastering, like making sure everything sounds sonically there and like nothing's overpowering something else and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, I've been slacking on that because I haven't really looked at videos or anything about it. I think I'm doing it, but I know that's something that it's very useful in the production world. Like there's a lot of people that specifically do mixing and mastering, and you can go directly to them and they'll get credits for that and get paid for that and everything. So I believe that if I just learn to mix and master myself, I already know how to make the beats. If I can mix and master them too, then I'm the whole package.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome hearing where you come from. What I'm wondering is, using what you've learned, like what you talked about, where you've already
Hmm.
come from, do you have any idea of where you think you're heading? In like, do you think you're heading somewhere? Or are you kind of like just trying to maintain right now, sticking with what you know?
Uh, I believe in my heart that I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing the best that I can do. And I'm growing. At least I feel that I'm growing. Um, Again, this goes back to the whole social media thing. I feel like once I like actually start putting more into my social media, then that's when I'm gonna, start growing more, because people are gonna see, oh, he's not just beats. He likes video games. He actually likes music outside of just this.
Yeah.
So hopefully, in the next year or two, I actually, increase my posting on social media and my interaction with the community, with the very tiny community that I have built, and just expand it even more. Like trying to, as most like music producers say, like the hardest thing is to get those 100 true fans. And once you get that, you're solid. Like that's just it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not trying to like whoosh, like go too
Hmm.
big in this because I know that like personally I couldn't even answer that question of where I'm trying to go. But just going back to what we said earlier, I think it's always important to kind of put into that perspective that we are like really young in the world of creating, even though like I know, I guess the biggest mistake I made, and the mistake that I think everyone makes when they first start creating, is they think it's not going to be that long of a journey. Like, it's very easy to get caught up in the idea of like, I need to get everything done today and people will just start watching me in a couple months. But the truth is, like, you could be like us, creating for quite a while and your audience stays small for a while, because it's a very like, you have to be dedicated and put a lot of work into it, because the thing is, people come to your account, they want to see that you have a track history. They want to look through what you've already done. They want to see what you've established. And if you're not, fully established just yet, a lot of people just kind of can slip past it really easily. So I think that's a really great plan, because I think it's good that you set realistic plans, because I have this tendency to sit there with myself and be like, oh, and I'm going to put out all of this. And it's just not how it works realistically. Like, you take it slow, have faith in your process and yourself, and just focus on one thing at a time. I think it's important to just have that one like main thing that you're going for.
Baby steps.
Taking
baby steps. Instead of saying, I'm going to write a blog every day, you'd be like, I'm going to write one.
God, no, I would never. I don't know if I would have enough to say. If I started making posts daily, you'd be like, yo, like, you're like saying the same things over and over again. See a doctor, please.
Not see a doctor.
You're concerning us with what you're saying.
You're repeating yourself. Please.
You don't need to hear my daily thoughts, okay? It's too intense. Usually I have to water myself down.
Yeah, one blog post is gonna be like, I ate breakfast, and that is all.
No, one blog post will be like, I stared out the window for 8 hours straight. What is the meaning of life?
I saw a bird. The bird looked at me. I looked at the bird.
We fell in love. Should I keep the bird?
Yeah. That's how you found your bird now. That's exactly how you found it.
No, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. The one thing that I am the most guilty of, and I'd love to know what your thing is too. The one thing I am most guilty of, and I know
hold on. I really hope you're not about to say what I think you're about to say, because I've caught myself multiple times already.
Wait, I don't know what you're going for, but okay. I was just gonna say in general, the thing I'm most guilty for in creating is making a part 1 and not a part 2.
Wow. Don't think I've done.
I'll put part 1 in the title, and you will never find a part 2 on my channel.
See, what you need to start doing is this. You need to start like naming it, whatever. And then if you're going to do a continuation of it, put the same thing, part 2. And then you're like, okay, instead of, messing yourself up.
This is how it happens though. It's not because I don't like want to finish or something. Like I said earlier, I write what's on my heart at the moment. So if I make a part 1 and I'm like, yeah, I'm so down for part 2, a week later, I'm going to have a new idea and I'm going to be like, wait, I'll do part 2 the following week. And then I keep pushing it back until it's not relevant.
I got an idea. Okay. This is what you do. Instead of doing like part 1, I'm going to do part 1 now and do part 2 later. You just do the entire thing and then split it up instead.
That's a better idea. Yeah.
So then, you have the part 2 if you ever feel like posting it.
I should. See, the only thing is the first time this happened, it was back in 2020. And I was supposed to make like best songs of 2020 part 2. And then I literally just
I think I
messed
remember that.
Yeah, I messed that one up. That one was what you just said. I should have just done it all at once. But the other ones, it was like, I was doing a podcast and it took like, literally we talked for so long. We talked for like an hour and a half for part 1 to the point where like, we just had to stop and eat dinner because we were tired. And then we were like, let's do part 2 later. We're actually going to record part 2 this week. Scout's honor.
Not Scout's honor.
Not Scout's honor.
Don't say Scout's honor. But I'm gonna text you Sunday and I'm gonna just record you and be like, I kind of forgot.
But the other one was the Bendito Chronicles, which I did start. I'm gonna post that one this week. I just couldn't finish the part 2 because the whole point was that I didn't know what was gonna happen yet. But I am finishing that one. Spoiler alert, I kept the bird. We said that at the beginning of the podcast. It's not really a secret. I just wanted to post about him because he's cute. But
I'm going to say it's not a secret because I get a random follower this week, Bendito. I'm like, oh, okay, they kept the bird. Did I say that right? I feel like I messed it up.
Bendito, yeah.
Bendito? Okay.
Bendito, yeah.
I put the little Hispanic flair in there.
Hispanic flair. Bendito.
Yeah, Bendito,
But yeah, what would you say is one thing that you're guilty of doing a lot, if anything?
Hey, trying. Well, okay. This is something I'm very guilty of, and I feel like people aren't going to. I feel like I'm going to say it, and now people are going to go back and see, but like, oh dang, that is. And a lot of producers do this. A lot of music artists do this. Is that I use the same sounds a lot, and sometimes I want to switch it up, but other times I'm like, this kick is so perfect though. So I'll use the exact same kicks and the exact same snares. All my hi-hats. No, I'm just gonna be honest. My hi-hats are the exact same almost every single beat. You can go back and listen to them. They are the exact same.
This is great. This is great advertising because you're like, go back and listen to all of them.
Go back.
Get on my list.
Every single one of my beats has the exact same hi-hat. So I need you to go back to when I first started, the very first video, and come to now. And you'll hear it. But yes, I'm very guilty of doing that. One day, something that I've always said I wanted to do was I wanted to just go. I want to do this when I move out. When I move out of my house, I want to make a beat using all the sounds around my, not my house, my apartment. I want to use sound from my apartment, like, a door shutting, or like, me hitting something like a spoon on the table or something stupid like that. Like, I want to make a beat out of that. And I actually had the idea, the same thing with the lemonade video. I still have like the mason jars and I have the straw. And I realized that whenever I hit all three of them, they make a different sound. So I was going to make a beat out of that, but I just never got around to doing it.
See, that would blow up on TikTok. People love those on TikTok.
What I need to do is I need to take the 2-minute video of me trying the lemonades and like cut it together into like 1 minute and then post it on TikTok. And tell people go to my Instagram to see the full thing.
Big brain. Reusing content. I think reusing content is something that it's like a golden nugget when you learn how to do it. Like, instead of having to make brand new content for every platform and for every like little thing you do, I actually think it's brilliant to reuse the sounds you already have. They work. What's the point in finding new ones? You're just wasting time at that point.
Exactly.
And it's like reuse, like every good creator reuses content all the time because nobody has the mental capacity or time, even if it's your full-time job, and just no one has all that time to create fresh, brand new, out of nowhere content.
Shoot. Think about it like this. Half the YouTubers that you watch, like, for example, you know what? I'm not going to bring him up. Anyway, other creators, whenever they, like, a lot of the time, they just take, like, still pictures of themselves and they use that exact same picture in every single thumbnail. Like, a lot of bigger creators do this with millions of subscribers and millions of followers, do the exact same thing where they just take one picture and just keep using it in every single, thumbnail. So, I mean, reusing content is not a bad thing,
Not at all. Especially if you're like me, because what I started doing is I do post on every platform still, because for me, I just want to get eyes on my blog. So I post on all platforms, but I don't really make it unique. I come up with 2 captions, a longer caption and a shorter caption, and I put them across all the things. I even have a Pinterest that I do it on. And that way it's like 1 image for all of it and 2 captions. It's like easy.
Look, I'm going to put you on because I found this and I was trying to find something like this. The app called Hootsuite.
I know what that is. I used it at a job once.
Look, I use it. That's what I use now. Like, you grab that, you can I have my 3 social media platforms. I have my Instagram, my Facebook, and my Twitter. And I post the exact same thing on every Wednesday and Saturday on every single one of them. It works.
Yeah. So automations are good. Yeah.
Yes. I've been looking for one for the longest, and I was so happy when I found it and it worked. I was like, yes.
Yeah. And see, the good thing about that is when you can take the little things like that and make them easier, you have more time for the bigger things that actually matter.
Exactly. See, now I have time to actually think about how I want to roll out, my next single, because I got everything done already, so.
You got time to think about your next TikTok. I love TikTok, by the way, so much.
Do too. I love TikTok so much.
Oh my gosh. Like, I don't like, and see, this is something I've been working on too with my content, trying to decide if I even want to bother and how I want to combine the two, because it's not like I have a huge following on TikTok. I don't. But I've noticed that my TikToks have been getting more engagement. Like my TikToks get 100 plus likes at this point. And so I'm like,
Oh, big
okay.
dog. All right.
I'm just like, okay, so people are liking my weird ass because I just started doing them as a joke. Like they're really stupid. Like if I have you seen any of my like bits?
Oh yes,
because they're
yes,
really weird.
I have. What was the one you just posted? I watched it.
Was it the cheapskate one?
Yeah, it was that one. Like you stated here for 48 minutes, 53 seconds, and 2.5 milliseconds. So I need you to pay up. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, this is just the weird shit that rolls through my brain. I love that I can post it on TikTok, but I've thought to myself, I'm like, should I? But like, I don't want to do that initially, especially because I don't want it to feel gimmicky. Like, I'm just doing it so you'll come to my blog. What I want to do is I want to actually build up a decent following and then be like, oh, do you guys know I run a blog?
That's the equivalent of like those people on Twitter when they have like that one really funny post and then you go to the post and underneath they're like, since the post got so many likes, go check this out, you know? I see it all the time. You gotta
leverage it, all right? You gotta leverage that moment of fame.
You're right. You are very correct. Very correct.
But yeah, I mean, for now, what I just do is it's very subtle. I just have it in my bio of my account. Like I've never mentioned it in a video, but if someone ever were to get curious, it's there.
See, what I do a lot, excuse me, what I do a lot most of the time, at least if I find like a really funny TikToker, usually I'll like follow them the first time I see them. And then the second time, if they have a really funny video, I'll go to the page and I'll be like, okay, what else can I follow them on? So I don't know if everyone else is the same way as me, because if I use Instagram the most, I use Instagram the most. I'm on Twitter a lot. And then TikTok, I'm kind of sort of on now. I don't know. I love TikTok, but I just haven't been on as much. But yeah, usually I'll go on there and I'll be like, I want to follow them on the thing that I'm on the most. So I know that they're still there, you know?
Yeah.
So it is a good, thing. Grow your fan base first there and then tell them, hey, I do other things.
Yeah. Yeah. And like people do it in clever ways. Like there's a lot of people on TikTok who like are subtly advertising themselves, but they do it in such a smooth way. I don't know. I'll figure it out at some point. But I think I want to end this. Not right now. Okay, that was a weird way to say that. I was gonna say I want to end this on a certain note because I like the point that you just made. I do think that the majority of people do that. I think that's why so many people post like link trees and stuff on their accounts is because people do like to find people that they like creators or whatever, on the platform that they like the most. That's why people are on multiple platforms, So going back to what you said earlier, where you were like, well, would anybody even really care and stuff? I mean, you find random people all the time and you're like, wow, that was funny. Let me find you somewhere else. Other people can do that for you,
Very true. Very true. See, it's really funny. Every single podcast that I've been on this month, I've been saying the exact same thing and everyone's like, hey, we'll get your shit together. Everyone's saying the exact same thing. Like, just post, just do it. So I'm taking it as a sign. I am taking the hint, universe. Okay, I'm taking the hint. I will start posting more.
Yes, because like honestly, like I feel like it's so funny because when you find certain people online, I find people like this online all the time where they'll just be like, I don't know, like you can tell they're being shy. And I'm like, I think you're amazing. What are you talking about? And you're one of those people. You're like being all shy over here. And everyone behind you is like, Jonathan, do it. Jonathan, do it. And like you have all these people on your like accounts, like especially on Twitter, because I find like you post stuff of your other friends and stuff, and I follow all of them because you follow them, and it's that no like trust thing, right? You like those people, so then I trust you and I'm like, oh, they're probably great, and I follow them. The same thing is happening from them to you. They're your friends. You know how many of my friends are like, oh yeah, you listen to PME, I listen to him too because you posted him. Like you just got to put yourself out there. People will like you. Okay.
Oh, shit. Stop. Them is the homies on Twitter. Oh, I love all of that. I noticed it too. I meant to tell you this, that I saw, I can't remember what post it was. I think it was like your very first post of the year. I ended up going into the description because I was like, oh, you know who else did she put? And I noticed that you put Holly in there. I was like, oh shoot, I had no idea that you followed Holly. Because that's the homie. I was like, I literally just texted her not too long ago after I saw that too. So I was like,
heck yeah. So anyways, I'm the voice in your head telling you that you're amazing and you need to post
I'm
yourself.
I'm gonna make you the voice in my head now because I've talked to you so much that I can, recreate your voice in my head. So
I'm so sorry that you have to listen to my voice in your head.
You have a very soothing voice. What do you mean? You should start reading. You know what you need to do? You need to start reading like short stories like on your YouTube channel. That's what you should. That's actually a really good idea. When you post your short stories, you should record yourself like basically reading them and then post them on YouTube.
Talking about the things that we know we need to do. I actually have had that thought a lot recently. I was like, why am I making podcasts and vlogs on different topics when I could just be making podcasts on the vlogs?
You could.
So like my idea is that like these kinds of podcasts, like when I'm talking to a guest, those will just be free-handed conversations, obviously, because it'd be creepy to do it any other way. But the way I was thinking was like, I could, take the podcast and write about that person and that conversation in a blog, and then take blogs that are on my own and do the podcast on my own. Big brain energy. I just haven't done it. So
I like that.
But yeah, I mean, how like bad would it be? I think it'd be pretty funny if I like, per my guest PME's request, I removed this portion of the podcast. But you can just hear us talking about our brilliant idea because we just don't want to share our idea, just in case we actually want to do it. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that we did pull out a part of it, so it just might sound weird. I did intentionally pull out the part, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Thanks for listening.
I feel like it would blow up. I don't think anyone is actually. You need to cut this part out because someone's going to take that idea. You need to cut this part out immediately because someone's going to take that idea. But I think you should do that because I feel like that would really blow up. So then no one knows. I mean, everyone knows what you're talking about, but the YouTube algorithm won't mess you up.
True. Okay, I'll pull this part out. Don't worry about it. I don't need my million stolen.
Exactly. That's a bag right there. You don't need that bag taken from you.
Okay, so we're coming back. We can't put that part in because it was a good secret, but you might see it sometime soon.
You might. And if she doesn't do it, I'm going to do it.
All right, you heard it here first. You'll see it at some point.
Yep.
And we'll tell you what it is in the description after it happens in many months, maybe years. You'll see.
Eventually.
Eventually it'll come through. All right. Well, it was super fun chatting, as always. I hope this one sounds way better than part one.
I think all of them sound way better than part one.
Thanks for sharing your insights. Do you have any final nuggets or anything you want to say before we wrap this bad boy up?
If you are thinking about doing something, at least creatively, or, just anything, it could be podcasts, music, posting that one post that you have no idea if anyone's going to care about, just do it. Just do it. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about them. It's about you having fun and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, just do it. And listen to all of my music. Because the hi-hat is the exact same. So go back.
Yes. Yes. Listen to PME's music because it'll change your life. And there's an Easter egg in there. The hi-hat. So
a gold nugget.
Golden nugget. You heard PME's beat actually at the beginning of this podcast, so let's not forget to say that. And you're going to hear it in a second here at the end. And like always, PME's links will be in the description and anything else he wants to post there. So don't be surprised if there's something, really cool in the description. You should check it out to make sure you don't miss out on the cool stuff.
Exactly. There's cool stuff.
There's cool stuff, so you don't want to miss that.
There's Horn Pub leaks.
Yeah. All right. And until next time. Stay psyched. Thank you so much for listening. The intro and outro beat used on this podcast was made by my friend and producer, PME. He's super talented, so make sure to check him out. His links are always in the description. And as always, let me know what you're getting psyched about. I do this podcast because I think getting psyched is done best when we do it together. So please let me know. And until next time, stay psyched.